Moving right along, Why Your Mix Sucks, Part 3. The next thing that I will say is the most epic mistake with novice guys is they don't use good cabling. And I just posted something on my Facebook profile this past week. I think I said something to the effect of, I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're using those rainbow colored XLRs that were like 20 of them for $1.99 on eBay, you have failed, my friend. You have really failed. And I know for somebody that's on a budget, that's tempting to buy that sort of stuff, but I will promise you it will cause you problems time after time after time. Now, there are reputable companies that make, colored cables. I'm not saying that that doesn't exist. Not all colored cables are created equally. But the cables I'm talking about are non-branded, generic. It says it right on the listing on eBay, and you can get like 20 footers for $15 or something. They got pop metal ends on them. They have the smallest, tiniest gauge wire in the world. They fail repetitively over and over and over again. Now, I'm sure there'll be somebody hop up in my freaking comment section that says they've been using those cables for 613 years and that's how they mic Jesus at the Sermon on the Mount and have never had one fail. Okay, well, I'm happy for you, Dorothy. You go with it. But for the rest of us, I've seen those cables fail on the first gig. I had bought something a few years back. I was just telling this story to one of my guys the other day. I bought some gear or something a few years back, and they gave me free cables with the gear. And the cables were these cheap, these were black, but they were the same cheap, generic, Chinese, hockey socky cables. And they somehow got mixed in with my other cables, and I was out on a corporate gig, and the very first gig, and wouldn't you know that cable would be on the keynote, right at the podium. That cable failed about an hour into the gig. And I'm like, how did this cable even get in my body? I don't even know how it happened, honestly. I think gremlins came in the middle of the night. Maybe I was abducted by aliens, and when they got done diddling with my booty hole, they went and mixed up all my cables with the Chinese cable. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what happened to this day, how they got mixed in with my stuff. But I can tell you this. I took those cables out and threw them in the trash. The guy working with me was losing his mind because he's a pack rat. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're throwing those cables away. I'm like, dude, they're junk cables. Buy reputable cables. Proco, he makes great cables. Whirlwind, Mugambi, any of those. Even the Hosa Pro stuff isn't crazy hateful. Pig Hog is another one that's not crazy hateful. I have some of those cables in my inventory, and they work week after week after week. But when they stop working, right in the trash they go.